The Hoover power play. Playing the victim. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. As I've made it plain previously, all narcissists have a victim mentality. The greater and the ultra rare display it, but they still regard the world as a cruel and venal place, that is, out to cause them problems, but they're far more effective at dealing with that. The victim mentality is prevalent among lessers and especially those mid-range narcissists. They see themselves as the eternal victim of the unfairness of other people's behavior, the recipient of unnecessary hatred and nastiness, the recipients of envious troublemakers seeking to do them down. This victim mentality is hugely important to the narcissism because it is what propels the narcissist to pursue the prime aims. By always regarding themselves as the one that has been hard done to, that assists in the blame shifting, which then enables the narcissist to deal with the issue of control. If they've done nothing wrong, that means somebody else or something else has done something wrong, which means they are to blame, and therefore that gives the narcissist a sense of control. For if they can no longer be blamed, then they have the control that is so important. The Hoover power plays are important for you to know about, so that in the event that you don't have a total no-contact regime, and you're able to see what the narcissist is up to, identify it for what it is, and to take the appropriate action. If you have moved beyond the narcissist, this will help you understand more about how the narcissist behaved and give you resolution, closure, and clarity about what you've experienced. In a previous episode of this series, I explained to you about the emergency that's often concocted by the narcissist as part of the Hoover power play. Here, we're looking at a close cousin of the emergency, playing the victim. Whilst the emergency will appertain possibly to something that involves somebody else related to the narcissist, a child, another family member, a friend perhaps, or if it is in relation to the narcissist, it's about their health or their financial circumstances. Playing the victim, in terms of the power play, is more about how the narcissist actually is feeling. And they utilize that as a means to try and draw you back into the relationship. The playing the victim power play is designed to appeal, as always, to your empathic nature, to bring you back to the narcissist, to bring you back under control, to cause your fuel to flow towards that narcissist, to allow the narcissist to access your character traits and residual benefits. It will invariably be the case that the narcissist, having lost you at some juncture, as a consequence of your escape, then seeks to draw you back in through this power play. The narcissist may well be wary about causing the narcissist to approach you in person. Thus, instead, it adopts a more cautious approach by causing the narcissist to contact you by way of a message, by text, social media message, or an email. The reason for this is that an approach in person, if rejected by you, wounds the narcissist far more substantially than the rejection of a message. And therefore the narcissism chooses the message because if it's rejected, it will be less damaging to the narcissist, but also because you may be more likely to respond to a message than dealing with the shock of seeing the narcissist in person. As ever, if you maintain a total no-contact regime, you won't get any of these messages, and therefore you won't be subjected to the power play. And that is the counsel of perfection with regard to what you must achieve. But if you have not done that, you need to look out for messages such as, "This is terrible. I think something bad is going to happen. Please, we must speak." Or, "I didn't think you would do this, and it's left me in pieces. Please speak to me before I go under." Or, "You and I need to speak. I don't know what else to do. I am lost without you. This hurts so much." Or, "Every second away from you is destroying me. Please, please, let's sort this out and talk. I'm in a bad place." This is all about the feelings of the narcissist, that they feel lost, that they feel lonely, hurt. And the Hoover is sent to appeal to your sense of compassion, that you feel sorry for the narcissist, you pity their circumstances, that you may also feel guilty that this person is hurting so much and you were the cause of it. There is an element of truth in what the narcissist has written, because where the narcissist has lost particularly the intimate partner primary source, that has an impact upon the narcissist's fuel levels, which is significant. If you'd like to understand more about that, I'd encourage you to obtain my book Pipelines, and also from the Knowledge Vault, Understanding Changes to the Narcissist Fuel Matrix. But in essence, where the narcissist has lost the intimate partner primary source, this blasts a huge hole in the fuel matrix. Fuel levels drop, which causes the narcissist to feel anxious, uncertain, that the world is coming in crashing around them. And that sensation powers the self-pitying messages of the type that I've just read to you. Furthermore, the narcissist has given sufficient detail to prick your interest, but hasn't given you full detail as to what precisely is going on. And once again, the narcissism is catering towards your need as a truth seeker to understand what is going on. Will you actually end up tormenting yourself by trying to stay away whilst repeatedly wondering, how is this person? Have I hurt them? What are they going to do next? What torment are they in? Invariably, as a consequence of your empathic trait of decency, you want to do the right thing, and also be seen to do the right thing. You will want to speak to the narcissist, your emotional thinking driving you to do this. That, of course, is a trap. You invariably worry about the person that you have ended the relationship with, even where you know that it's the right thing to do. Even though you may dislike that individual, there is still an element in many people whereby they wonder how that person is getting on. They can't help but think that way. Why? Because their emotional thinking causes them to do that. You are not cold-hearted or ruthless by nature. Instead, you are somebody that cares. You're somebody that thinks about other individuals. You may also feel that you ought to explain to the narcissist why you've done what you've done. I regularly explain to people that when you implement no contact, you don't tell the narcissist, you just up and go. If there are certain legalities that need to be sorted out, for instance, divorce, child custody, you do that through a lawyer. What you don't do is sit down with the narcissist and tell them it's over, because then the narcissist will issue a preventative Hoover, which may well stop you from going. Accordingly, one of the things that the power play Hoover will do by playing the victim is to bleat about not understanding why you made the decision that you've done, and this will tug at your truth seeker trait. Because not only is it the case that you want to understand the truth of why things are as they are, but you are also driven as an empathic person by the need to have other people understand the truth, why you made the decision that you did. But the fact is, you do not need to tell a narcissist that. You are not accountable to the narcissist. You have no obligation, but your emotional thinking will make you think that you are. It will cause you to believe that you ought to tell the narcissist why you chose to end the relationship. You do this because you would want to understand, so you therefore think that it's only appropriate that you allow the narcissist to understand, but you're walking straight into a trap. The instigation of a form of no contact by you wounds the narcissist. The narcissist wants to convey this to you, talking about the hurt that has been experienced. And therefore, even though the narcissist has subjected you to a sustained campaign of abuse, the empathic traits that run so strong inside of you will be screaming at you to care, to fix, to heal, to be decent, to tell the truth. Given the fact that your emotional thinking will be so high and you're subjected to more manipulations, it's difficult for you to resist the siren's call of this particular power play. You need to place some ice in your heart. You need to do so to reduce your emotional thinking, because otherwise that will prove to be your downfall. Utilizing this victim power play comes naturally to the narcissist and is seen mainly with mid-range narcissists, or can be with the lesser. The narcissist victim mentality is driven by seeing the world as a cruel and harsh place. It's uncaring. How can it be anything other than that when it has consigned the narcissist to a lifetime of being blamed for things that they didn't do and the necessity of drawing fuel? The fact is, the narcissist will use the victim power play to make you feel sorry for the way that they feel as a consequence of what you have done, to make you feel guilty for ending the relationship, for compelling you to explain yourself. And by sending that first message, the narcissism expects that your response will be one of trying to explain yourself and caring about the impact that you've had upon another human being, so that you respond, thus providing the narcissist with the knowledge that you're coming under control, that you're starting to provide fuel again, to work towards a meeting in person. I don't understand why you've done what you've done, and it's left me feeling so terrible. The least that you can do is come and talk to me about it and explain. Hampered by your emotional thinking, you believe, I suppose I owe it to them. You do not. Perhaps I'll feel better if I go and explain. You will not. You'll feel better by staying away. Not necessarily at first, but over time you will. Resist the urge to be taken in by this Hoover power play, where the narcissist plays the victim as a consequence of the things that you have done to them by virtue of ending the relationship and implementing no contact, in an attempt to make you feel guilty, in an attempt to cause you to have to tell your truth, in an attempt to massage your decency, your caring and compassion, so that you eventually grant that audience to the narcissist, and they then can up the ante with regard to their manipulations, combining with your soaring emotional thinking, and that you end up going back into the relationship in some shape or form with the narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.